You know, I kind of miss Robot Wars. I don't know when it got cancelled. Is it still a thing? It's probably not still a thing.
I don't think it's still a thing
Probably
anymore.
not.
I don't think BattleBots is either still a thing either. Maylene, check that up.
Yeah, it's one of the few things we had growing up that made engineering look cool. Right, because it's really hard to make engineering look cool, right? But you see these like mechanics.
That would be like a really cool way to teach engineering, coding, and like an all-in-one thing, right?
Yeah.
Get them to make just a little thing fucking move around a little bit. Like, why not teach them?
The one thing I loved about BattleBots though was just the fluctuation between like the different people who clearly had completely different skills in engineering. Like one robot was like, this robot is an automated arm that can, grab and pick up robots. And then there's another dude's like, the challenger comes in. It's like, I attach 60 knives onto this boy. And the only function he can do is go forwards and backwards. Let's go.
It's a chainsaw on wheels.
Yeah.
That's literally it. Like,
It was so funny.
And you see like some like piddly robots that had like the most depressing flipper of all time. Couldn't even flip my grandma. And then it goes up against like fucking Hypno Disc or something and just gets absolutely destroyed.
Like, half of them like don't even move like in practice. So it's just it's just a door stopper on wheels.
and then like, I don't know if BattleBots had this, but the UK one had this where like the showrunners had their own like OPS robots that would just like when nothing was happening, they'd be like, send out Charles or something.
Send out Sir Killalot.
Yeah, and then like this just fucking massive, clearly like absolutely god tier engineering
like
robot
created
came out.
by NASA.
Yeah, and
robots,
just
right?
fucking just started like gorilla smashing them around, and it's like, oh, that's kind of anticlimactic.
Apparently, BattleBots was supposed to come back in 2020, but it's postponed.
Oh wow.
Oh, okay.
So
BattleBot's coming back. Definitely.
BattleBots coming back.
Wait, when did BattleBots end? So wow, 2000s it ended. It's come back soon.
Do you remember, I'm just getting reminded of all like these old television shows I used to watch as a kid now. Do you remember Gladiators? Was that part of?
That's very, very old.
That's very, very. That's like
80s,
90s.
That sounds really familiar. What is that?
It's basically like how
very
can
much inspired like the whole like kind of sporty-esque, like really intense physical sports.
Yeah,
game shows.
it was kind of like instead of like what are like the shows that like Fall Guys and stuff is based around? Wipeout. So instead of like going against an obstacle course, you'd have an obstacle course, but then you'd be competing against a gladiator, which was like this kind of like really fit, muscular person, there would be this competitive element where you'd have to beat this person
Like their
on
time.
on this obstacle course, something like that.
Or you'd have to just like literally fight them.
Yeah,
That's the final hurdle.
basically.
You get to the end, he's just standing there.
I mean, the best way I can describe it, it's basically something very. It's like Wipeouts with wrestling, basically. Wrestling
So it's like real time, like you're fighting, like or not fighting, but like
there was,
competing with the
So
gladiator.
there's like one. I think there was one event in it where like you both had like those like long poles with like cushions on the end, and you fucking have to smack each other off.
Basically, just
yes,
basically
I
just
remember
like
that.
giant cotton buds.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
They
I
try to
remember
push
that.
each other off the platform.
Yeah, I remember that.
I mean,
Yeah.
I know that show is old because in like I think when I was watching that like very early 2000s, everyone was wearing like latex and spandex, and I'm like, oh yeah,
I'm pretty sure all that's just taken from Takeshi's Castle, right?
Yeah, what was the other one? The Japanese one was called like I think it's called like Ultimate Banzuki or something.
Oh,
You
yeah,
never
yeah,
heard of that
yeah,
one?
yeah,
You
yeah,
heard of
yeah.
this one?
Yeah, I think so.
Where like literally they would do. So this show is so fun. You should watch clips on YouTube. It's really fucking cool. So what they would do is that they would have like someone, either they would be a generic thing or they'd have an expert. So they bring on like 10 expert pogo people, and they would build like a fucking impossible pogo obstacle course.
Right.
And they would have to do it. And like the shit they would do is insane.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just general people. It was like, no, they get professionals. And there'd be people who like, they'd have to be, they'd bring people who are professionals at like handstands.
Yeah.
And they'd have to do a whole course handstand walking around, like going upstairs, going on wobbly
Yeah, I've
log.
definitely seen
like,
that,
it's
yeah.
really fucking cool. You should watch this. Just type it in. I think I'll have to show
Ultimate
Mudan.
Bunzuke, right? I think it's called something like that. Yeah, I remember that.
And like the stuff they'd have to do was crazy. Like they had that that Mario Party game where you have to like there's like 7 things stacked and you have to like have a hammer and hit it from the bottom.
Yeah.
They had a game where 2 people had to do that and they had to like get it. They had to hit them all out.
Right.
But obviously, when
That's-
you hit it,
yeah.
it would like tip the thing over.
Yeah.
It was really cool to
That's
watch.
based off like a traditional Japanese like toy.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.